Welcome to the how-to video on the new IOSim Pro with iTero. Now, this particular one, I guess I'm excited about many things, but this is really exciting. This is the newest thing in terms of visualizations. And if you know me at this point and you know me, I am all about visualizing, beginning, the end in mind, showing the patients and elevating the way that we communicate. And of course, if you know me, I'm all about that experience of that emotional presentation and the real mock-up and everything. Now, that's not necessary for all the cases, and there are some cases where just a simpler visualization will do. So the one that I'm gonna, there's a million, maybe not a million, there's multiple ways of getting that 2D visualization. Today I'm gonna go over the IOSim with the iTero 5D Plus, and it's just a really cool way to be able to communicate with the patients. So when you go to your My iTero, you put your patient's name. And by the way, myitero.com is almost like an underutilized. I use it a million times a day for so many things, and most people don't even use it. But if you're trying to dive in the world of digital and then being able to be mobile and have the freedom that digital brings, myitero.com is a huge part of that puzzle piece. Now, when you go to the patient file, you get to click on the patient, and you have many options in here. You can go to the viewer, and in the viewer you have just a traditional route of how you usually show things in the iTero. Now, of course, you can move everything around, and what's different here, if you've used it in the past, what's different here is this little Invisalign logo on the side. And once the green check mark is there, that means that there's an IOSim Pro. There's a simulation with the face of the patient. Timeout. To be able to do the simulation, total disclaimer, to be able to do the simulation, you have to use the Invisalign Practice app. The Invisalign Practice app is a free application, and that's for record taking that you can use for Invisalign patients, but you can also use to do this simulation that we're about to do. So, of course, that's what looks a little bit different, and you can take a look at it and you can click on it. You have to give it a little bit for it to load. It's a lot of information. It's basically loading the whole simulation. This particular patient, handsome guy, he just came for a limited exam, but because we have the power of this, he came for a completely different thing. But we have the power of visualization, and we're able to show him what's going on with that gap and how it would look once it's closed. Now, when it comes to simulations and visualizations, this is the best I've seen out there. It doesn't only show you the face, it also allows you to go through the intraoral. So it's almost like the outcome simulator that we're used to with the iTero. And of course, you can go through the different angles and the different sides, and you can just go through everything and show the little details of everything. When it comes to being able to see also, what to see, you can change the photo if you want. You can remove the photo, you can change the preferences. And this is really cool because let's say that you're only looking to do Invisalign Go, then it's going to change the simulation on the limitations that Invisalign Go has, which is no molar movements and things like that. In this particular case, it wouldn't change the simulation. You can also say, you know what, I am not treating the lower arch, so then the simulation will not include that. In terms of the midline, you can correct it or you can just maintain the initial one. And in the spacing, you can choose where to keep the spacing. Sometimes on the spacing, we're trying to explain to the patients that we're on purpose leaving some spacing distal to the canines. So we have all of those preferences to choose from, which is really, really, really cool. Now, of course, the regular way that you can move things, and you can also go to the way that you can move things, not rotating, but the pan, and go through everything. So it's just a really, really awesome way to be able to show potential outcomes to a patient in a matter of minutes. Another way to be able to use the simulation, you don't necessarily have to be on the viewer, but you can go straight to Invisalign Outcome Simulator Pro or IOSim Pro. And that takes you straight So don't think that you have to go to the viewer and then the other way. That takes you straight to the simulation with all of the same tools and all the same buttons. So I hope you enjoyed this HTV, and I'll see you soon.